So you know what one of the hardest lakefront properties to find here in the Orlando area is the smaller, updated waterfront property that's on a good lake. And we're gonna show you one right now. We've got one for you. It's pretty cool. One of the hardest lakefront properties to find here in the Central Florida market, and this surprises a lot of people, are the smaller, updated lakefront properties. I get a lot of buyers that have had the larger homes. They're downsizing. They've been on the lake all their, for decades. They don't want to leave the waterfront lifestyle, but they don't want a 4,000 square foot house to maintain anymore either. This is a house that checks those boxes. It's been beautifully updated. It's a smaller house, about 1,100 square feet, but very nice updates on the inside, very smart layout, and we're gonna go check this out. As we walk up, I wanna first of all thank my friend Tiffany Yates with Compass Realty. This is her listing. She was kind enough to let us come in here and give it a tour today. So Tiffany Yates, thank you very much. Beautiful listing, by the way, and let's talk about it a little bit. So first of all, house was built in 1953. They've come in and done a very nice contemporary update of it. You'll see on the finishes on the inside. You've got out here, you can see the River Rock. It's a block house, rock solid. It does have a tar and gravel roof. Those work well, and it's a low pitch roof. They can last a long time. You've got some architectural features out here where they actually built it with the 8x16 masonry block here, and then used the smaller blocks. It was kind of a thing back in the 50s. So you got kind of a contemporary, little bit of a Art Deco look thing going on here, I think, and it was a pretty cool house. Let's go check it out. Okay, so I'm inside the main living space here, and you can see there's some nice three wide slider doors here that go out to the very big backyard deck. And here and we'll go out and we'll go spend some more time on the lake here in a little bit. But here inside the house, this is the main living space. This is what you've got. And it's, and I would say 2 decent sized bedrooms. The master bedroom is actually pretty nice size. Beautiful kitchen. There have been some very nice updates done on the floors. The finishes have a very contemporary feel. You've got a knockdown finish on the ceiling, which a lot of times you won't find. That's a redo. That wasn't original, obviously. Ceiling height, I'm right at 8 feet on my reach, so I think we're probably 8'1", 8'2" on the ceiling height. And everything is on one level here. And that's what people are looking for a lot of times when they're downsizing. So this checks that box. If you're the waterfront buyer that's looking for less house, but you still want to be on a fantastic fish and ski lake, you can do all sorts of water sports out here on Lake Killarney. I'll talk to you more about the lake when we get down there. But this is really kind of a hard to find thing in this property. I'm sorry, in this market right now. So living space here, they've got some nice contemporary finishes, as mentioned. Windows are not original, they're not brand new, but they have look like they have been updated. A little hall space over here. Really cute, what I'm gonna call charming and cozy bathroom here. Again, somebody did a great job with the color selection here. It's got a good vibe to it. Some cute tile on the floor. This is the secondary bedroom up here. Lots of window, sunlight coming in. What you can expect, kind of your typical closet for the 50s. Air's cranking, it's nice and cool, very comfortable in here, very quiet once you come inside and enjoy the space here. We are facing east out the back door here, out over the lake. So we're gonna go down there, you'll get a better look at it. But so you're getting some amazing sunrises over this lake from this side. We're on the west side of Lake Killarney. Kitchen area here. Let's see, we got some lights. I should turn the lights on when we're showing these. There we go, there we go. And it's actually a very spacious kitchen for an 1,100 square foot house. And again, this checks a lot of boxes that are surprisingly hard to find. Let's see if we get a light on here. There we go. That door goes out to the carport. Laundry here in the kitchen. Got a little pull down thing here. You've got updated appliances. Stainless. French door refrigerator. I love looking at people's refrigerators. This one's a vacant house, so nothing too interesting in there. Some nice light fixtures. So a lot of features. This one's ready to be moved in. One's ready for somebody to move into. Would make a great, I'm sure this place would rent out in a heartbeat, given the location. We're in the Winter Park address. This does go to Edgewater High School. It's unincorporated Winter Park. Some of these homes in unincorporated Winter Park are on septic instead of city sewer, so that's something to be aware of, something we can confirm before that's part of what we do when we're working with our buyers. Yeah, very, very nice house on the inside. So let's go check out the outside. This deck is huge. You could have a real raver out here on this deck. I could probably put all 3 of my grills out here. Cook up a storm. Yes, I have 3 grills. That's another story for another day. Block construction all the way around. Now you may have noticed there were the smaller blocks on the front of the house. Those were more common in the 40s and 50s. This is newer 16-inch by 8-inch common masonry unit blocks. So the house is built like a you-know-what. It's not going anywhere. And again, a very nice, smaller property on a gorgeous lake. So let's go down. Let's talk about Lake Killarney a little bit. Nice sized backyard. It's fenced. It's got a privacy fence all the way around. You've got kind of cute little, what do you call those, like Italian restaurant lights, I think, up above. So I'm sure at night these light up, and this probably just has a total vibe to it. So I love the dock down here. I'm down here, let me see if I can back up so you can get a better look at this dock, because you've got the paver path that comes in here, and then you've got a big deck behind the house, and then you've got an entirely new deck down here at the dock. I want to come out here and entertain, have some people over, get the boat going, get a grill, cooking. You've got a little bar space there at the dock. We're going to talk about that boat lift and the boathouse. Lake Killarney, very clear body of water, clear greenish is how I would describe it. There's something about Lake Killarney that is very hard to find in Orlando that makes it very unique. There's actually a couple things about it that kind of set it apart. First of all, its size. It's one of the larger homes in the downtown metropolitan area. It's about, I've seen different numbers, but it's about 240 acres. Just for reference point, I've seen people, technically I think you could ski on a lake that's maybe 40 to 50 acres. It's tight. So anytime you get up over 80-ish acres, you've got what I would say is a decent sized ski lake, and Lake Killarney is about 3 of those. So, and it has a fairly irregular shoreline, so you've got some real variety. You've got a lot of brown cypress. Let's see if you can see that back there. There's a palm tree, but you've got some cypress, which gives it kind of that traditional rustic water, Florida waterfront vibe to it. It's a fairly deep lake. It's got some drop-offs, and there's actually, if we're back here, and right now behind me is facing pretty much due east, so that's where your sunrise is coming up, and right over there's an actual spring, which is surprisingly rare in Florida lakes. I get the question all the time, Mike, is it a spring-fed lake? Well, most of our lakes here in the state of Florida were formed from sinkholes, I don't know, thousands of years ago. And that's why most of them tend to be rounder lakes. When you see some of the ones that are not round, a lot of times they may have been a combination of some sinkholes. You'll have some deeper areas and stuff, but very few of them have active springs. And Lake Killarney happens to be one that has an active spring. You can go over there on a paddleboard or boat, and you'll actually see the water bubbling up. It's pretty cool. And that's kind of hard to find. Lake Killarney property values. So this is pretty much entry level here. We're right under $1 million. And there are properties out here on the lake, some beautiful homes have sold upwards of close to $5 million. But most of your homes, I would say out here right now in 2026, I would, probably if I had to just guess a median price on Lake Killarney, you're probably in the, I want to say probably close to 2 million plus or minus. And some of your newer ones are where you're going to start to get up into the 3s and 4s and even higher. So let's talk a little bit about this boat dock here. So nice dock. It looks like it's in good shape. That can be a real thing to consider when you're looking at waterfront property. It's not brand new, but it looks solid. It feels solid. It has been painted. Painted docks. The wood will last longer. That's the upside. The downside is you've got to paint. You got to repaint them periodically. Even if it's not painted, they're typically stained with like a water sealer. So you're still having to maintain your docks and still have to recoat them occasionally. This one's painted gray. It does have the, you can see something you're looking for here. That's a 6x6 post, which is pretty standard. Sometimes you'll find some of the older boat docks that might have like a 4x4 post. Those get a little bit rickety, and you probably would not want to put a boat lift on something like that that's going to be bearing down on the post. This boat lift looks like it's fairly new. It's a cradle style lift. It's got a motor here. These are usually rated for 5,000 pounds, which is plenty of weight to get a typical wakeboard boat up. You can see the neighbor here has a nautique. Now, some of the things to consider when you're looking at waterfront property and the lake and the dock and the boat lift situation. So my dock on my lake, the dock is, I didn't want to extend it. I wanted less dock. So it is the boathouse sits in some fairly shallow water, but that's okay because the boat that I wanted was an older nautique where you actually have the lifts on the boat. I don't need a cradle. So when you have a cradle lift, you want to be conscious of the lake you're buying on, how the water level fluctuates and whatnot. You typically have plenty of water here in Lake Killarney just because of the way it slopes off and stuff. And you can see right now we have fairly low water conditions. You're kind of getting a little tight there on that lift, but again, the water is lower than it normally is, and it's usually not too much trouble to kind of dig those out if you need to. But that's kind of something you want to understand. Lake Killarney's got a beautiful white sandy bottom, fairly consistent throughout. This shoreline here, you can see it's got, right now it's got, these take maintenance. I have somebody that helps me maintain mine on a pretty regular basis just to keep it looking clean. Some people opt to do that. Some people like a natural look, let it kind of grow in. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for. And we can talk more in detail as far as what you are and are not allowed to do as far as keeping your lake, your shoreline maintained. But you can see under the grass here, there's a beautiful white sandy beach here, and wouldn't take a whole lot of work to kind of, if that's what you're looking for, something that's very, very clean and kind of like that white beachy look. Great fishing out here. You've got some healthy, it's a healthy lake. You've got aquatic, there's a osprey up there. Can you see him up there? Love selling Lakefront. You've got fish beds down here. You can see right there's a fish bed right off the dock, and lily pads, and it's a beautiful lake. Here's one of the things about Lake Killarney that is very unique. In addition to the spring, this is one of the few lakes in Orlando that you can take your boat and go to a restaurant. I've found, especially when I'm dealing with clients from the Northeast, they find that unusual. There's a lot more larger lakes up there, and there's more waterfront property up there where you can actually boat to a restaurant, bar, that kind of thing. Very limited down here in the Orlando, really Florida in general, on freshwater bodies of water. It's hard to find, and I think that has to do with really how most of the lakefront properties were really developed. We're rural. We're outside the larger metropolitan areas, and we're typically developed as home sites. Before that, they were probably orange groves and/or cow pastures, or just out in the woods. So, finding commercial zoning on waterfront is an unusual thing here in Florida. You do have it here on Lake Killarney. You've got one of the top steakhouses in Houston's directly across the lake. So you can take your boat over there, pull up. There's a dock. You can tie up there, go have it's fantastic restaurant. Sit out there. They've got a really nice lakefront setting to have some cocktails or have dinner or whatever you want to do. There's a Trader Joe's over there. There's I think it's a Smash Burger. It's a lot more casual. Again, it's all over there. You can boat over there, tie up, and kind of, you can go over there and get your groceries if you wanted to at Trader Joe's. So again, that's one of the things that makes Lake Killarney unique. Some people might not like that. Some people, you might want a more rural property, a more isolated property without that kind of activity. There is no public boat ramp onto Lake Killarney. So that really kind of means that the water activities you're going to have, the boating and whatnot, are going to be residents. And that's different from other lakes like Lake Conway, Lake Fairview. They both have public access points, so you might see more activity on the weekends and the holidays and stuff like that. Lake Killarney does not. But you are right here in the metro area. You've got Lee Road over there to the north. You've got 1792 over there on the east side. And we are probably, you wouldn't know it when you're back here at the house, but we're probably, I'm gonna say less than a quarter, maybe somewhere between a quarter and a half a mile from I-4, from the interstate. So you've got, you will hear that. You've got the noise, but you also are hopping on the interstate and you're getting downtown in probably less than 10 minutes. So that's what you're getting when you're buying these types of lakes in the downtown area. And yeah, I love Lake Killarney. It's a solid lake, and this is a great house back here. If you want more information on it, love to talk to you about it. Reach out, and hope you found this helpful. Oh, please like and subscribe, and that kind of gives us a signal as to what kind of content we should be putting out there. I'm Mike Darenthal with Darenthal Realty. Talk to you soon. Bye.